Hey guys, and welcome back to Twilight Princess, and welcome to Gerudo Desert. Maxi, you haven't done an intro before. Please, wax philosophically and lyrically about how much you love this shit.
Oh man, I get to start a part? Shit, some serious pressure. Okay, I guess I should start by reiterating the fact that Gerudo Desert and Ocarina of Time was the point in my life when I discovered the joys of music and video games, so it holds a special place in my heart. That being said, I know it's unfair to say this, but the Gerudo Desert in Twilight Princess doesn't quite reach as high as the pedestal I've put Ocarina of Time's desert on, but it does come close, and I will admit it does exceed in some aspects.
Yeah, what they went for here is a scale, I think. There's a few bits and bobs dotted around, a few monuments you can visit, but mostly it's going for the vastness of an actual desert, and in that regard, much like other areas in Twilight Princess, it does it pretty well. Like that monument in the distance, for example. Could it be part of the Bridge of Eldin? Have I just spoiled something that could have been a nice surprise? The answer to both of these is yes.
And in Ocarina of Time, the majority of the desert was composed of the haunted wasteland where there were constant sandstorms. This was obviously to mitigate the N64's graphical limitations. I mean, rendering an entire fucking desert would be difficult to do, so they just covered it up with sand. But, now that we have GameCube technology, we still can't render an entire desert, but we sure as hell can make it look like we did. And now we can see how big and how barren. I mean, this is probably the only time you're ever going to hear me say good things about how little there is on a map.
Man, I remember the switch from N64 to GameCube, just playing like Luigi's Mansion, Rogue Squadron 2, and Smash Bros. Melee for the first time. It was a defining experience for me in terms of video games.
And that's when NTOM64 became GQ Tom 6032?
No, it's GCN Tom 128, thank you very much.
Oh, okay. I want to mention that they brought back the tradition of you constantly being chased by enemies while you're in the desert. In Ocarina of Time, it was those disgusting levers, but in Twilight Princess, you're being chased by moldorms, and unlike their previous incarnations that were just worms made out of circles that would knock you off a platform in a tower and it would really piss you to fuck off, these moldorms are clearly inspired by Dude. What I like about them is that they appear to be moving really quickly through the sand, so by running against them, Link feels like he's moving quickly too, like a desert high-speed chase, even though you're moving at the exact same speed that you've been for the whole game. Just running against these moldorms, trying to dodge and fight them while they're dashing and jumping at you, it's so cool. And it makes the area exciting and dangerous even though, once again, there's nothing out here. But it's working so well!
Also a callback to Wind Waker with Malagra.
Oh, definitely. And, well, I guess they kinda did that with the Morpheal boss fight, but anytime you can reference Mulgera, and especially anytime you can make remixes of that boss music, I'm all for it.
Okay, let's fix the way to Lake Hylia so we don't have to go the long way around this time.
Midna, why you no do this in boss fights?
Yeah, just drop a fucking bridge on them. Boom, done.
That would have made the fight against Morpheal, well, I guess even easier than it already was if we could just collapse the entire dungeon on it.
Well, technically it's the way to Zora's Domain. Surprisingly tricky to get to Zora's Domain before the Bridge of Eldin is fixed.
I'm sure the Zoras would have been okay once we explained the situation that we're saving the fucking world from Twilight.
One positive thing I can say about Hyrule Castle being surrounded by a giant light pyramid is it's good for tourism.
I mean, you could set up a gift shop, you could give tours, I'm pretty sure you can hire the postman as part-time labor.
Come and see the Pyramid of Light. The princess is no more, but hey, it's shiny.
Why did you just sound like the radio announcer guy from The Legend of Korra?
Previously on Twilight Princess.
It works so well.
Yeah, that works so well in like the first couple of episodes, but at the start of every book, kind of ruins whatever tension you were trying to set up. It's time to head towards the Arbiter's Grounds, which is the fancy name for the prison. That's the Hyrule history people set up. But we've kind of got to get through an enemy base, first and foremost. And to do that, we're going to have to go all Metal Gear style and pep a few bullbins with some arrows on the way.
The lolly lule low.
Oh, Metal Gear.
Now I can make all the Metal Gear Solid references I want. Remember, Tom, if you need any help, the frequency is 140.85. You know, I'm not entirely sure if the Bulblins set up this camp in front of the prison in anticipation for Link. Like, you know, they finally picked up on his pattern of hitting all the temples and they've decided to cut him off at this choke point. Or is maybe this camp actually their home, like they permanently live at this spot? We did say they were like bandits, so maybe this could all be one giant convoluted reference to the Gerudo.
I will take a third option in that they're bandits. Maybe bandits just live in the desert.
Oh, so everyone in this camp is an escaped convict, but rather than run across the desert, they just settled on the front porch of the prison.
This is a new thing. New mounts, and you have to use this little piggy here to crash through these barriers, by the way.
Piggy! I love piggy riding.
Piggy comes to an abrupt stop.
Oh no.
And yes, you can slay the piggy, should you so choose.
But why would you do that? What kind of sick, demented, inhuman monster are you?
Well, I like pork, so let's just leave it there.
Oh, well, when you bring bacon into the equation, yeah, you can justify any action then.
Yep, psst, sausage is better, by the way, just pointing it out there.
This commentary is over. I refuse to speak with sausage-loving infidels. Man, we are learning these hidden skills pretty quickly now.
All praise be to the Zelda guide.
Dear Twilight Princess, thank you for allowing me to get all these fancy sword moves in quick succession before I enter the next dungeon.
Hurt me again, Link. I must know that you have learned this skill properly.
Now, make me feel alive again, Link.
I have no brain, but oh, if I did, that would smart like a bitch.
The Shade totally remembers the time Link kicked his ass in Zanzibar land. This is probably my least favorite hidden skill.
Because it requires waiting?
That, and it has a lot of preconditions required in order to even perform the move. First, your sword has to be sheathed. Second, you cannot be Z-targeting. And third, you have to be close enough to the enemy for the attack to reach them. Which is really difficult when you don't have a reticle on them because you're not allowed to Z-target. So, judging the distance is kinda awkward.
Okay, let's try this shit. Put the sword away.
No, you don't Z-target.
I kinda forgot midway through that, I apologize.
Well, you're just showing that you can't do it while Z-targeting. Thank you, Antom, for 100%ing this playthrough.
It would have been so cool if he was like, that's okay, but if he did it perfectly, I would have given you a gold rank.
Would have given you a gold star. Link likes to decorate the back of his shield with stickers.
I just noticed the scrolls you get, kind of similar to Minish Cap. Did we bring that up in an earlier part? I know we referenced Minish Cap's new moves and whatnot, but I don't think we referenced the, direct reference.
I know that I at least mentioned that there were move tutors in Minish Cap. Don't think I got more specific than that. So yeah, in Minish Cap, Link can train with each of the Blade Brothers to learn new sword techniques that come in the form of Tiger Scrolls. Also, I just remembered that the eldest brother was dead, so there's another connection you can draw between them and the Hero Shade. Don't tell me you got lost, Tom. Please tell me that crossfade was not because you got lost.
Only Tom64 could get lost in the direct vicinity of where you needed to go. I love this section. Ha.
It's so satisfying. Now, I want to bring up a point that I believe Twilight Princess did much better than Ocarina of Time in where it placed its stealth section. Zelda games have always had stealth, so that's not the issue. But, I feel that Ocarina of Time suffers by having its desert stealth section take place so late in the game. Now, I know that you can do the Gerudo Fortress much earlier if you want, but let's assume you're playing along with the story. For me, a well-designed Zelda endgame should be building momentum and tension all the way up to a big climactic final boss fight, and I feel that having Link slowly sneak around hurts any build-up the game had up to that point. But, with Twilight Princess, I feel that having the stealth section right after the Master Sword but before the final batch of dungeons works much better with the game's pacing. You feel comfortable with basic combat, might even be a little too confident, so the game throws a new method of interacting with enemies at you to throw you off base. But, if you get to the end, you're rewarded with bigger and harder dungeons.
How did you find this, your first time through? I definitely got spotted at least once.
I'm pretty sure my first time through, I said, fuck getting a big boss rating, I'm just gonna get noticed and kill everyone.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't. I mean, they're only Bulbins, after all. It's not like they're gonna call out the boss of the Goron Mines or anything, like a revived version.
That would have been sick as hell, but no, there's no consequence to getting noticed in this section. It's all just a matter of personal pride and whether or not you're a true soldier.
this is also a stage, well, this and many other things, is a stage in Link's crossbow training, actually.
Watching Axel Ryman play that game was definitely a highlight for me of the Zeldathon.
Now what we're actually searching for here is a key to the central part of the compound, and I believe it's on the west side, but I just decided to be a bit completionist and take out all the bull bins so there are no repercussions for my vicious murdering actions.
This section definitely ain't bad, you know, for Nintendo's first attempt at turning Zelda into a run-and-cover third-person shooter. It's definitely a weird design choice. I mean, you really have no idea that you even need a key. You're more likely to find the lock first and go, shit! Because if you're playing the stealthy approach, you really want to try and not fight enemies, so you're less likely to encounter the key drop. But if you just storm the camp, then yeah, you're gonna find that key in no time.
Thank God they're generous enough to give us some arrows.
The music in the Twilight Princess Gerudo Desert is also really good. Love the percussions and the low-key male vocals. Really impressed with how well the music that plays during the day works for this stealth section at night.
Suitably tense, but not overdone.
Oh, definitely, because you know they could have went the bullshit route and used the stupid horror movie violin like, oh my god, you're gonna get caught, and you don't.
Well, speaking of music, since this part does cover Gerudo Desert, what are your thoughts on the Gerudo Desert theme?
I guess I could just retell everybody the story where young innocent me was playing Ocarina of Time for the first time, got to Gerudo's Fortress, was dumbfounded to hear a Spanish guitar in a video game, put the controller down, and listen to the music for nearly an hour. It's a song that has changed what I listen to and will always be important to me. It's even got amazing remixes. I mean, I know everyone and their mother has heard and loves the Smash 4 remix of Gerudo Valley, and I'm right there with you guys. I love that remix. But it's actually not my favorite. There's actually a version out there that I rarely, if ever, see uploaded to YouTube that, one, has an entire brass section, and two, has an amazing guitar solo.
Oh, here's this guy again. I'll just tell you ahead of time, basically the same strategy. The backslash works immensely well against this guy. And now back to music opinions. Gerudo Desert, well, it keeps the Spanish guitar, but it adds in a little bit of a Gregorian chanting, or whatever the name for that kind of thing is. And for Twilight Princess, like the tone, I think it works pretty well, but my favourite will always be the original, I think, and I got a little bit cocky there. Apologies, no retakes this time around.
It's okay, Tom. I mean, this is war. War has changed. He's big and lumbering, and he hit Piggy with a hammer. For that, he must die.
I told you, they eat their pigs, they ride the pigs, and then when they've been ridden to exhaustion, they make pork chops out of them.
No, dude, don't get up. Come on, this is becoming a Monty Python skit at this point.
'Tis but a scratch.
And there he goes. Wow, what a sore loser.
Who lit that? I killed everyone in the compound.
This has to be like the in-person Hyrulean equivalent of rage quitting. This dude just rage quit.
Oh, that must be one invincible piggy, because he got cold-clocked with an axe at point-blank range.
I feel bad for him. I mean, he's the real victim in this situation. He should defect and come with us. It's like, bye, Epona, we've upgraded to Piggy Steed. That was it? It's over? We didn't even get a giant kick-ass on-rail shooting section. No giant robot at the end. What the hell? It's better than fucking VR, I swear. But this is what I mean when I say that I think the base might be a little too close to the temple.
Well, when you see who, Prisoner Zero, I guess, is, that will make a lot more sense now that I think about it. All part of my plan, mate. All part of my plan.
It's all part of the plan. Jumping into walls is how Wolflink will prove that he's a real soldier.
Now, we usually try to do dungeons as, like, the first Zelda upload of the week, but, the order may go a bit skewed now. So, next time, or this Friday's episode, will most likely be us covering the Arbiter's Ground. So, well, I guess Twilight Princess, both the game and playthrough, really is revolutionary. We'll see you guys next time for more dungeon action. See you then.